Welcome back to another episode of Bias and Money, where we break down real financial events and the psychological mistakes behind them.
Have you ever noticed that strange moment when the numbers stop making sense, but you keep leaning in anyway? Not because the data convinced you, but because pulling back feels worse than losing money. Right now, as you hear about artificial intelligence, data centers, trillion-dollar valuations, and companies burning billions, there's a tension forming in your mind. On one side, loss aversion, that ancient biological instinct that makes losses feel twice as painful as gains feel pleasurable. On the other, something newer, more modern, more dangerous, the fear of becoming obsolete. Which one is winning inside you? Let's look at what's happening. The largest technology companies on Earth, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on AI infrastructure. Data centers, chips, energy contracts. From the outside, it looks like a classic bubble. Excess, overreach, mania. But imagine you're sitting in their boardroom. The choice isn't, do we invest carefully? The choice is, do we overspend on an uncertain future or risk institutional death by falling behind? In that context, what looks insane from the outside starts to feel inevitable from the inside. This is the first psychological trap, when fear reframes recklessness as responsibility. Now pause for a second, because this isn't just institutional behavior. Have you noticed this thought pattern in yourself? If this company has even a 0.1% chance of becoming a trillion-dollar platform, then any price today is justified. This is called lottery ticket thinking. The expected payoff becomes so emotionally dominant that the probability becomes irrelevant. You're no longer pricing risk. You're pricing hope. And once hope enters the equation, discipline quietly exits. So ask yourself, are you evaluating value? Or are you buying a story you want to be true? Here's where the numbers quietly contradict the narrative. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Capability realization rate. It asks a simple question. How much of what a technology can do is actually being turned into dollars? Take OpenAI as an example. In recent reporting, roughly $4.3 billion in revenue, estimated losses of $13 to $14 billion. That gap isn't a moral failure. It's not incompetence. It's the space between technological brilliance and economic reality. So why do we ignore that gap? Because we anchor ourselves to people, not numbers. We see figures like Sam Altman or Satya Nadella, and something subtle happens in our mind. Their credibility becomes the benchmark that replaces our own skepticism. If they're all in, how could I not be? This is anchoring bias at scale. We stop asking, what am I risking? And start asking, who else believes this? At that moment, belief replaces verification. And history tells us exactly where that leads. We've been here before. In the 1840s, it was railroads. In the 1920s, radio. In the 1990s, fiber optics and the internet. These weren't frauds, they were inflection bubbles. Moments when society collectively tried to compress decades of progress into a few years. And here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. For the technology to survive, investors often have to be sacrificed. The money-losing excess is what builds the infrastructure the world uses after the crash. The tragedy isn't that the technology is fake. It's that human psychology demands overinvestment to make the future arrive faster. We suffer from something called extreme brevity of financial memory. We dismiss the past as primitive. We convince ourselves that this time, we finally understand the present. So, ask yourself one final question. Are you allocating capital, or are you allocating belief? Because in a bubble, the difference between a genius and an idiot is often just timing. Where does that leave you?
Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, you'll find additional resources and learning material linked in the description. They go deeper into how these psychological biases shape real financial decisions and how to avoid repeating the same mistakes. I'll see you in the next episode.